In August, I had a little... What is this music? Yeah. You can hear that? My God. Whew. What a year. Insane. Всем привет, Alan here. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a great Christmas. I realized literally 2 days ago that this is going to be my last video of this year, so I thought why not join the ranks of some other content creators out there and to say a few words about 2020. Now definitely, I don't know what's going on with this year, but Mother Nature is definitely going crazy. I mean, we have COVID, we have a couple of mutations, just to let us know that it's not gonna go away so fast. We have different forest fires, including here in Portugal, and other countries had storms and typhoons, which also we had one here in Portugal with damage created all over the place. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And if there's something that I could say or summarize this whole year, I could say, COVID-19, thank you for being an asshole. That sounded much better in my head now that I said that. But I mean it. Thank you for being an asshole. Because you put me in such a stressful and hectic situation that I actually took action towards pursuing happiness and to changing something in my life. And this is something that I want to discuss in this video. Since, boy, I was wrong. I was so wrong about the picture that I created in my head about this year and my life in general, which was very negative. I was in a very depressive state. I was very closed. I didn't want to speak to anyone at all. And all because of stress. But what I ultimately failed to do was to actually look back and to reflect at the good things and to really appreciate and to show gratitude for the good things. And I only realized this literally 2 days ago during Christmas, after I had a conversation with a friend of mine. For me, the year started pretty well, a great New Year's party, a lot of ambitions and goals that I set forth for myself. And then in the middle of January, I get a notification from my landlady that I need to move out because she sold the apartment. And I had literally less than a month of notice, and I ended up moving to a friend of mine into a kid's room, which was just big enough to fit my queen bed and my wardrobe. Not a lot of space, not very comfortable, but it was something. Now then in March, second week of March, I went on a vacation, a 1 week vacation back home to Ukraine. And I ultimately ended up staying in Ukraine for 4 months because the borders were closed. And this alone is the biggest thing I'm grateful for in regards to this pandemic. I spent 4 months with my family, my whole family. And to put this into perspective, in the last 7 years, I went back home only for 3 weeks. And this was only last year when I was finally able to leave this country and to go visit my parents back home and also my friends. And I went in literally in August 2019 for 2 weeks and then once in November for a week. And that's it. So 4 months, it's incredible. It's more than I could ever ask. Now, that did come at a cost, and the cost was a lot of stress and negativity coming from my current employer. And interestingly enough, the day that I had to fly, I was in my office working, and at some point, I just suddenly felt like I wanted to take a break. So I gave myself 5 minutes, and I thought about researching about this state of emergency that Spain declared. I didn't know what it was, I just saw it on the TV, so I thought, let me just Google and read up on it. I literally just Googled and went to the first website that was in the search, which was BBC. Started reading the article, and then I noticed a small little notification or like a note on the side of the article saying that a couple of countries, including Ukraine, is closing their borders in the next 48 hours. And I realized that I don't know when they're gonna reopen it, so I'm gonna most probably be stuck. But I thought maybe for a month only. Nevertheless, I spoke with my employer and they arranged a laptop for me. And the thing is that this laptop was the only one available. And it was only available because 2 weeks before that, they fired a colleague of mine. So I took the laptop, I go home, and throughout 4 months I was working from 4,000 kilometers away, and I had insane amount of stress and pressure and negativity coming from my employer, which is understandable to a point considering that hospitality right now is suffering a lot and it is quite difficult. I mean, literally up to now everything is pretty much frozen. There's barely any tourism. It's basically survival. But at least I had my friends and my family around, let's say our family, because we couldn't really go out of the house. But the point is, I had people around that were supportive while I was going through this difficult period. And all this stress started building up and led me to consider whether I like what I'm doing and whether I would want to do something else. And ultimately the answer was no, I no longer like it. And also I have no idea what I want to do. I think something that all of you guys will be very familiar with. Whenever we want something, but we don't know what exactly is it that we would want to do to make our life better. What is it that we are passionate about? Finding passion is actually quite difficult than they say. You need to try a lot of things. So for me, after diving deep into myself, I realized one of the things that I was very, very interested in and I enjoyed was doing this vlog and basically documenting my life on Instagram about this fitness challenge that I was doing in February called 75 Hard. And after more thinking, reflecting back on some all earlier video work, I realized that I actually still enjoy this. And I would really want to develop this hobby and then also develop it with the intention to then turn it into a career. But then the question was, okay, how am I supposed to do this? I didn't have a camera back in Ukraine, and also given that my 2019 was basically me spending all my free time at work, I was literally doing like anywhere between 12 and 15 hours per day. My schedule was like wake up, go to work, come back home, go to sleep. And sometimes I would even skip meals. And that's where a book comes in. I was reading at that time a book called Crush It by Gary Vee. By the way, that book was gifted to me by a good friend of mine on the 1st of January 2020. And reading that book gave me an idea to document my journey or the process, which then led me to remember what I was doing earlier in February, where I was vlogging and documenting my journey as I was doing this very difficult self-transformation challenge. However, I didn't immediately act on it because first of all, I didn't have my camera, although I could use my phone, but I wanted to be sure that this is something that I would want to do and to continue. You know how it is, we're always hyped about everything until you actually start doing things. So I left it in the part of my head, in my memory, just to age. And that was in May. Now let's fast forward to July. I finally am able to come back to Portugal and I realized that I'm alone now to face the same negativity, same stress, with also a lot of it built up already throughout the months. And I have to do this all head to head alone. And that was way overwhelming for me and it just sent me downhill completely. I became very negative, depressed, stopped talking to people, closed in, stopped social media, anything. Like I just wanted to be left alone. And the thing is that I was completely consumed by negativity, even though I should have been grateful for the fact that I still have the job. Though stressful, but at least I have still money coming in to pay for the house, for the food, for the life, you know, because there's a lot of people losing their jobs. But no, I was just focused on negativity. And then I remembered about YouTube, and the idea was still very interesting to me, so I decided from the 1st of September I'm gonna make my first video, which I did, and started this channel. And it's also worth mentioning that in August I had a little... What is this music? Yeah. You can hear that? My God. Anyways, now it's also worth to mention that in August there was a opportunity to do some freelance work just as a side hustle. However, they did not pick me, unfortunately. But no big deal. I just decided I'm gonna focus on consistency, learning and making those videos on YouTube. Now fast forward 4 months now to this moment. I'm sitting here speaking to you in front of a camera. It's not been easy. It is still not easy. It's quite tough. There's challenges every single time I'm making a video, but it's a bit more easy for me to speak in front of a camera, and it's so much fun. It's incredible. I love it. And Some people might say that it was better to go to a film school or to just focus solely on studying a course, like buy a course and just do it. But for me personally, I love the process, and I think the process is the most important thing here, because I do learn slower because I'm doing only one topic a week, but it's just so much fun to do this and I remember it. So that's how I do it, and that's how I'm going to continue doing this. And the thing is that it has so much fun now that actually it is fighting that negativity and that pressure that is happening from my work. And to top this all off, like a cherry on the cake, remember that freelance opportunity in August? Well, it came back, and this time they took me. And it's like the universe was saying that no, you cannot start anything else until you start YouTube. And once you're comfortable doing this, that's 3 months of me doing this, then you can take up another challenge. And beginning of December, now I have one more thing on top, which means my whole days are completely busy. I have practically no time to speak to anyone, but I'm enjoying it. Only now, 2 days ago, I realized how important that is and how grateful I am about how things happen, because everything happened for a reason, basically. This being said, the thing that I'm trying to say here is that we have to be grateful for everything that we have, and we need to focus on the good in the bad, even more than the good in the good, to be honest, and to realize that everything happens for a reason. If it wasn't for that small kid's room that made me unhappy and my fitness challenge that made me spend every evening at the beach working out, I wouldn't bump into a good friend of mine and colleague literally 2 days before leaving to Ukraine, and I had a chat with her right there and then, and we found out that she's looking for someone to move and share the flat with. And then fast forward like 5 months, and I come back to Portugal and I move into this beautiful place that I am in here, and I'm grateful for that, because now I have all the space to do everything, and sitting here in the living room and make these videos, or in my room, like, doesn't matter. But the point is, there's a lot of space, especially for a big guy like me. If it wasn't for that person who was fired and that laptop, I wouldn't have all that stress that led me to reconsider my life and decide what is it that I really want to do, or at least try to do. Because the point here is that we're trying to taste what is it that we would love to do in our life. Filmmaking is something that I would like to do, so we're gonna try and see if this leads somewhere. And if it wasn't for COVID-19, I wouldn't see my parents for a whole 4 months. So definitely, COVID, thank you for being an asshole. And a lot of people may disagree with this, but the point is that in any difficult situation, there's always something good. Trust me. You just need to take the first step and put in the effort. And this being said, one thing I would want to advise to all of you guys is that while you're still in this festive mood, in this nice, good, happy feeling with your family around and friends, take a time for yourself, just 1 hour. You don't need more than 1 hour maximum. Make yourself as cozy as possible. Just take, make a cup of tea or coffee, right? Take chocolate and stuff, do everything possible, put some good music that you will feel the coziest as possible and as happy as possible. And now reflect on the year. Think about all the good things. What are you grateful for? Your health, your friends, your dogs, your family, your car, your house, the color of your sofa, everything. Think about everything that you're grateful for. And then look at the negative things. Everything bad happened to you, everything, to the smallest detail. And then try to find how did that negative thing affect you in a positive way. And once you find that answer and combine it with gratitude, then you will find a little thread, very small thread that you can hang on to. And trust me when I say that that little thread is stronger than any rope or any chain that you will find in this world. Strongest thing in the entire galaxy. And that small thread will slowly grow and grow and grow the more you're going to be focusing on it, and it will eventually pull you out of that fog of uncertainty, of negativity. Because what you need to realize is that your path, your journey, like Alan Watts said in one of his interviews, which I really loved, is that we are all part of the universe. Actually, it's the universe exploring different life through each one of us in its own way. So we all have our own path and journey, and deliberately this journey will lead us to these gray, foggy areas so that we can explore this place, because no one else will gonna explore it except for us. We're gonna go explore it, and then that little thread, that thread of gratefulness and positivity will pull us out of it, and we will come out of it stronger and better. So on this note, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for sticking around, watching my videos, so giving me constructive feedback, which is absolutely amazing and super valuable. I know for a fact that 2021 is going to be a promising year. Don't worry, everything is yet to come. Just stay positive, hold on to that little thread. I see you in 2021. Пока, goodbye, and namaste.